guys, we're gonna get right into it. This is Me Time, which is one of Netflix's new original movies. It's directed by John Hamburg, starring Kevin Hart, Mark Wahlberg, and Regina Hall. And with this is a little synopsis. So, with his family away, a stay-at-home dad enjoys his first me time in years by reconnecting with an old friend for a wild weekend that may upend his life. Oh boy, we're gonna start with the cons, and this is non-spoiler, of course, right now. So, what do you want to get into, Anthony?
I want you to go first, and I'll kind of go off of what you said.
Okay, so one of the biggest things about a lot of Netflix originals, and it doesn't it pertains to this movie, but it pertains to all movies that they release, and this is just a little thing. Is
Mhm.
they tend to do a lot of promotion. So like there was a scene, and this isn't like a spoiler to the plot or anything. There was a scene where they legit had this whole bit about watching Bridgerton, which of course is a Netflix original series,
Oh yeah,
and
I didn't even.
they promoted
When,
that, and I think they promoted some other show too at the same time, which is just like you're placing ad promotions about your own shows in your own movie. Like
yeah, I didn't even think
that's
about
ridiculous.
that.
That's
I didn't.
ridiculous.
Yeah,
So that's one, and also the theme of this movie is like very confusing. It's like they have like three different plot points. It feels like, and one of the plot points I don't care about. Actually, I don't care about any of the plot points.
I don't. Um, I don't know. I could see maybe two different ones, but I
Yeah,
feel like
maybe
for the most
two.
part, it was pretty straightforward. But that's just me.
Maybe I'm over exaggerating a bit. Well, because the theme of it doesn't really show until like the last 20 minutes of the film. It feels like this big week party adventure that goes nowhere, and then it just ends up all of a sudden exploding in his face. It's just it's just bizarre, and then there's just like random scenes that are just not funny at all. This movie was not funny at all.
I chuckled a few times. I'm not gonna lie.
I chuckled one time, and I'll tell you the time in the spoilers,
Okay.
but that's it. Like I just thought this movie was so unfunny, and this was really weak from Kevin Hart.
Okay.
That's one of my other cons. It's like a side note, like nothing against Kevin Hart. I'm sure he's a good dude, but like he always plays the same role as a dad or some like weak, fragile man who is like obnoxiously funny.
Yeah.
His best role, was in my opinion, is probably still from The Upside.
So okay, I I mentioned like I think he played the stay at home dad role. I thought he played that like amazing. I thought especially in the opening scenes where
Well,
he's doing everything. I was like, dang,
he
like
plays it. He plays it fine. That's because he plays it all the time.
right. So I didn't add this as a con or a pro, but it's just a typical Kevin Hart, Mark Wahlberg movie. There's nothing special stand out about it. It's the same thing that they always do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it feels like one of those. Maybe to a
But
lesser extent, it feels like one of those Adam Sandler movies, like
I
just
will say
bad
when
2000 movie.
I didn't watch trailers or anything, but when went on to Netflix and I clicked on the picture and saw that it was Mark Wahlberg and Kevin Hart, I expect I got exactly what I expected. Like when I saw them both, I knew what I was expecting, and that's exactly what I got. You know?
And Kevin Hart, he's always gonna have a buddy comedy
Yeah.
going on, which I didn't even see the chemistry that much with them either.
Right.
It felt kind of forced.
Yeah. I mean, it was he does the same role, which I guess I can give as a con for the movie itself, but I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna judge this movie as if like it's all the same as all the other movies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
So so this is just a to me it's a very bland comedy that doesn't really hit anywhere, and it doesn't.
right. I mean, that's how I feel about most of his comedies, though. As bad as that sounds, I
No,
think they're
that's
all just basic.
That's what
All
I'm
of
saying. Yeah, they're all just kind of basic. They're just kind of
them.
there.
I'm
If you like Kevin Hart, you'll probably watch it. But
right. I think this movie is on par with not all, but a lot of Kevin Hart's movies. Mark Wahlberg, maybe not, but you know what I mean? Like, I think it's on par, it's just typical for him.
yeah.
But I love him. He's a great actor. And then, okay, here's another thing. Um, the CGI and like plot armor, I did this in quotations,
Oh, in that one scene.
and a few scenes. Yeah. Uh, I okay. Ultimately, I didn't hold it against it because it's supposed to be this like comedy. I don't think the normal rules apply to a movie like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
well, I also thought because it was like a little small comedy that the budget probably wasn't too big.
right, right. So I didn't name any of those as cons either.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Even then, and I mean, I know it was supposed to show it because it's a comedy, but like even then, the CGI would be replaced with like props, and you can see the props.
Really, I could tell.
Yeah, yeah,
Like I said, I think it's only the only reason I don't hold it against it's because I don't think they really care about being serious in that aspect. You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's just a comedy.
yeah.
So, yep. What are your pros?
On that note, do you have any pros? Because I don't.
Um,
No, I mean not ones that I don't have any pros that are like non-spoiler.
right. So, I mean, pretty much the same thing as going before. It's just typical, but these aren't my favorite type of movies. But for what it is, I mean, I thought it was good. You know, I thought it was entertaining enough to sit through and watch. You know what I mean?
I didn't.
I think there
I was bored out of my mind.
really.
Yes,
See, I enjoyed it, and I thought there were a few pretty funny parts too. Uh,
I have one part that I'll tell you about. But is that all you got?
yeah.
Okay. Well, on that note, if y'all are staying with us, we're gonna do a spoiler review. But if you're leaving because you want to go see this movie, which I would not recommend, would you recommend?
Um. Nah, I mean, it's whatever. I would not recommend it. I wouldn't recommend it either. It's just. I don't know.
Just there.
It's
If
just
you want
there.
it, just there. If you want another Netflix movie, and make sure that you like, comment, subscribe if you're on YouTube, or leave a review if you're on any other podcast platform. Because we really appreciate you taking the time to listen to us every week. And make sure you also check out the merch store. We still got some stuff going up on sale. And yeah, check out our socials at underscore the Hooligan Hangout underscore, which is underneath in the link in the description. So yeah, so say hi to your mom for us, and we'll see you next week if you're not staying with us. Peace.
I want to pause.
What?
Dude, this is so short, and I feel like we don't have very much energy today either.
I told you it was gonna be a short one. I think we'll be okay. Mm,
Think so?
yeah, I think we'll be okay.
Okay. Well, let's try to.
Like if Edward was here, you could probably tack on like 7 more minutes. So
Yeah.
it'll
Well,
be
let's try
fine.
to extend this spoiler
Yeah.
if we can.
Hold on. Oh shoot. Okay, okay.
All right.
Let's see. All right, this is the spoiler review, and man, Kevin Hart really sacrificed himself for this movie.
Yeah.
No, but I'm gonna get into the cons. Do you want to start? Or do you want me to start?
You can start.
Okay.
Oh no.
Okay. So, in my opinion, I think the whole core of this movie, it's a pretty
Mhm.
basic surface level. You know, it's about a stay-at-home dad who finally gets his chance for his me time himself. He uses his time. He revisits his friend who's like having this big old birthday extravaganza that he's throwing. But in reality, it turns into like a boring, in my opinion, it turns into a boring adventure with jokes that just do not land at all. And there's like so many little sidetrack things that sidetrack them that it's just like not interesting in the slightest to me.
Why do you okay? What do you say was? Why do you think it was boring? Like just the story itself just
Yeah,
didn't.
because yeah, I thought it was fine at first with like the beginning, like okay, she's his wife's leaving for the whole week, and he's gonna
Mhm,
get some me time.
mhm,
Crap. But then he goes to Mark Wahlberg's character, which is also fine if like it stayed there all the entire movie. But it turns out they go to one place, party, and then go to the next scene, party, and then oh,
you're okay.
and
Your
then
con
you.
for last week was that it was only in one place, and now your con for this week is there's too many places.
No, no, it's not about the places. It's just it feels the same each time.
What they did? They were completely different.
No, it feels the same because but then stuff comes out of nowhere like, what was it, the debt collector?
Uh-huh.
All of a sudden there's a villain in the debt collector, which is it's okay because like it just shows it helps Mark Wahlberg's background.
Yeah.
It shows that he's in a lot of bad money practices and he owes somebody
Right.
debt. Like this is where he is in life. So I guess it's okay showing that, but it just feels like it comes out of nowhere. And then they go back, and then they have this whole sidetrack with um with Kevin Hart's with Regina Hall, Kevin Hart's wife Regina Hall in the movie. Her like client for her job showing up
Mhm.
to their vacation, and then him getting mad about it, and then
I hated that guy, by the way.
yeah, and then him getting mad about it, and then them going to his house to like trash it and stuff, do like bad things.
Uh-huh. I know. I don't think so. You're saying this is all like side plots and that it didn't really matter, but I think it did because the whole point is he's by himself for a week. He doesn't know what the heck to do, so that's why he goes to Mark Wahlberg, right?
Hmm.
And he learns that this guy shows up to his wife's vacation, and
Yeah,
he's still on this week of he can do whatever he wants. So it's like it's him like okay, he goes to this house, he trashes the house because like that like he's doing whatever he wants, it's almost in a way like he's never been alone and he's like being alone to figure out like what he wants, like who he wants to be, kind of, you know what I mean? Like does he
yeah,
want to be this party person like Mark Wahlberg, or does he want to be just a regular husband?
yeah. But then at one point towards like the last 30 minutes of the movie, he's all like he's actually like content with his life, and he's like, oh yeah, I could do this for like a while. Like I love, he's like, I love you, Mark, and all that. Like we're like best buddies. But then it turns all like dramatic, and he like basically loses his family, or like they stay away from him for a little bit because of the way he acted with like he threw a house party and he spent all his
Right.
money to help Mark Wahlberg's character get
Also,
out
I'm
of debt.
sorry, but I'm never gonna give you $47,000 like as
That's what I'm
close as
saying.
no.
That's what I'm saying. I wouldn't even have that kind of money to give.
Yeah.
But it's like, and then it just goes back and forth with that. Like it's like dramatic. It's like a playground thing. Like, oh, I don't want to be your friend because you did that. Actually, I'm sorry. Let's be friends again. Like the next day. Like what?
What are you talking about?
That's what he did.
Who? That's what who did?
Kevin Hart's character in Mark Wahlberg. He was like, oh, okay, I'll give you 47,000 because like you're my best buddy. And
Right.
then Mark Wahlberg, um, and then Kevin Hart loses his family or whatever, and then he's like, you know what? No, you're not my friend anymore.
Yeah, because he realizes like okay, he he's never been alone, so he's looking to figure out who he is, like just by himself, and he wants to have this best friend like Mark Wahlberg. That's he's trying it out, and then he realizes like, no, this isn't what I want. Like after all, you know what I mean? Like that's the whole point.
That's fine, but I just feel like the revelation comes so late. Like there was no build up to any revelation like that at all, because the whole time he was like Because like Kevin Hart's character never really changed until the house party.
Exactly.
I don't want in a movie. I don't want a character to change in one scene. Like I want that to be built. If that's the whole like moral of the story, I want that to be built up throughout the movie.
Well, no, I think it was because it was the since the second that he met Mark Wahlberg, like since he went back to him, because then he got on the party bus and then he went to the desert and then
Yeah,
he
but even
like
then
he
he
trashed
would tell
the
them about
house,
his
like
life.
even the house trashing like that. That wasn't in Kevin Hart's character, that's because Mark Wahlberg was there.
Okay, I'll give you that. That wasn't in Kevin Hart's character, but everything else besides that was like fine. Like I totally could see him doing it
I guess
from the
so.
beginning
I
of the
mean,
movie.
the way I'm looking at it is you compare these same themes and everything to a movie that you really like, and I feel like they're the same.
Like what?
I can't give an example, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, well, I just feel like the theme is doesn't resonate, especially like throughout the whole movie. Like this whole theme wasn't really that much that in the beginning. It just came out of
Yes.
nowhere.
I don't think so because I don't know, I've seen plenty of movies with the same story and the same type of thing. You know what I mean?
You give me examples and I'll listen.
Okay, I'll give you examples after the podcast.
Because this movie was just bad. But that's enough from me. What do you got?
That's what.
Cons.
I don't. I don't really have it. I don't really have much more to say. I guess in general. Actually, I do want to just add something, which is funny. When he went to the desert, and they're like, "We're gonna get primal," and there was I'm like, part of me was I was sitting there. I'm like, "Have I seen this movie before?" I'm
That's
like,
what I'm saying. Yeah.
I swear I've seen this exact thing, and then it hit me. Did you ever watch You?
Yeah.
It's the episode where he went out of the forest to do their primal instincts or whatever. Remember? And they all took their shirt off, and Joe accidentally like killed somebody, and then he started crying. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That's the same story, same thing.
I'm going to go primal.
That
It's primal time.
was funny though.
Oh, yeah. What do you call it? The CGI I was talking about earlier. I was talking about the lion. Whenever it jumped on him, it was a stuffed animal.
No, it was not.
Yeah, it was.
How do you know that?
Because I saw it in the frame for a split
There's
second.
no way. There's
Yeah,
no way.
it was. When it jumped on him. Or like it wasn't like all the time. It was like one scene. Like it jumped on him I think like twice or something. I think it was
Yeah,
like the second time that it was a stuffed animal.
that's funny.
It was a prop. Yeah, which I thought was funny too. Which obviously is supposed to be for the comedy, but
All right.
that's it.
Another thing, not a pro con, but just something funny. Did you notice that Kevin
What?
Hart's kid, when he was watching TV, he was quoting Chris Rock?
Yeah.
I thought that was funny.
He loves the comedians. Which is kind of funny because Kevin Hart's a comedian. I guess that's what they're going for.
Yeah,
All right. You want to get in the pros?
yeah.
All right, what do you got?
Um, no, I mean the same thing as a spoiler free. That is entertaining for what it was. It was like the same as always, but it always keeps me entertained. It's not necessarily like I sit down serious, like I really want to watch this movie, but if I'm watching it, like you know,
Yeah. You'll
uh,
you'll you'll leave it on.
yeah. And I did think there were some funny parts.
This is a background noise movie for me.
Really, that's fair. I will say though too, before we decided to watch this movie for the podcast, I was cooking the other day and I put on this movie and I was just not paying attention. It was literally I just put it on for background noise.
That's what I'm saying.
That's because I knew it was a Kevin Hart movie, and I feel like you can do that with a lot of his movies.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not gonna say they're all the same, like from the plot, but they're all
Right.
he plays the same character. They act
But
the same
once I sat down and watched it, I mean, I enjoyed it for what it was.
for what it was.
What are your pros?
Man, these aren't even like. This is just what. So My first one was that Seal was in it, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And they had this whole musical scene, which is, I guess, was pretty solid, pretty cool. And then the second pro, see, these pros suck, but the second pro is the part that made me laugh, which was, and there's this whole spill about because Kevin Hart, since he's a stay-at-home dad, he's like friends with like he has a group with the parents, like different
Mhm.
parents from the school that he talks to, and one of the parents named Alan is always like listening to his wife, like whatever she says goes, like he doesn't disobey, and it was so funny to me. I chuckled because at the talent show, whenever Kevin Hart's son was doing stand-up comedy, he
Uh-huh.
was he said something and then Alan started laughing or something like loud and he's
Yeah.
like, Alan, I know you ain't laughing. Did your wife give you permission? I thought that was pretty
Dude,
funny.
I feel bad for Kevin Hart's character because in the beginning, like he was getting shit on by life, like so badly,
Yeah.
and then, I mean, really, honestly, the whole movie. But then, even in the end, his own son was like roasting the hell out of him, like in front of everybody.
they're,
He's
they're,
like,
all, they're all fine, yeah, and then he breaks down.
yeah, he was like, yeah, that's my dad over there. He just had me time. He destroyed his marriage. I'm like, oh my god. He went
Not
off.
even before that, bro. I'm not gonna say it came out of nowhere because it was hinted in the beginning that like he likes stand up. He doesn't really care for the piano, but he's all trying to play, and then his dad walks up and he's just like, "Shut up, dad! Shut
Yeah,
up! I don't want to do this in
yeah,
front of everyone, bro." It's like, dude, I wouldn't even. Mm-mm.
that's funny.
But that's all I got.
Me too. Me as well.
So, yeah, that's me time. What would you rate this movie, Anthony?
Mm, you might have to cut out the silence. I'm thinking very hard on this.
Are you?
Um, what was the last movie we watched?
3,000 Years of Longing.
What did I? Oh, that was good. What did I give it?
Oh, that was a good one.
A 7.
A 6.5.
I'll give this a 5. I think. I think that's a fair statement.
I'll give it a 2.
God damn. Okay, do you want to know the Rotten Tomatoes score for this?
Oh yeah. I forgot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I do. I'm glad you
Take a
remembered.
guess.
Guess?
Yeah.
Okay, it's his lowest rated movie ever, right?
Hmm.
Oh, but you said it's Mark Wahlberg's too, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
You can't look anything up. You can't look anything up.
I'm not. I'm literally looking at you. I know Mark Wahlberg. I think Daddy's Home 2 was really bad.
Well, no, like not in comparison. Just don't compare movie. Just like, what do you think this movie was as far as Rotten Tomatoes?
But you said it's the worst, so I gotta compare so I can guess.
Oh, it's not that deep.
It's not that deep, bro. Well, if it's the worst, I think it was a. Let's go 15%.
It was a 7. Holy.
It's 7,
7%.
dude. That means like that means nobody liked it. Who's the 7% that liked it though? I want to know those reviews.
I don't know. I just thought
Seven.
like, jeez.
Good job, Netflix. You pulled out another one. This is like from Rotten Tomato wise, that's probably one of their worst movies.
That's crazy.
Literally is their worst movie. And like I said, it was Kevin Hart's.
Yeah. I don't think like why do people continue to sign with Netflix? I mean, is it enough money?
Dude, they offer a lot of money.
But for what? They don't make any money.
What do you
Like
mean?
Netflix doesn't.
I mean, right now they don't, but they're trying to push these movies and hoping one of them hits, basically.
They just need to focus on their shows. That's where their strong points at.
It's like the Gray Man. That's why they already greenlit a sequel because they noticed that their streaming numbers are doing pretty good on it. Even though I mean, I thought it was fine. Like I thought it was good for what it was.
Yeah.
I can see why they would greenlit a sequel, but they're very desperate.
I mean, we'll probably watch the sequel. So if y'all want to hear what we think, but
That's
listen,
wild. That's years ahead.
I know. Um, but yeah, so make sure to check out our Instagram, our Snapchat, our Twitter, our Facebook, our Reddit, our Quora, our Yahoo Answers. Just check it all out. And if y'all want any more, then just, you know, goodbye.
Goodbye. Disclaimer: we don't have Quora or Reddit or Yahoo Answers. But yeah, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and check the description for all our links. And say hi to your mom for us later.